Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays foundation stone of environment-friendly Ahmedabad Metro Rail Project Phase 2 and Surat Metro Rail Project via video conferencing. The new metro projects will further connectivity to Ahmedabad and Surat, asserts Prime Minister. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 96.59% even as daily infection dips below 15,000. Over 2 lakh people vaccinated for COVID-19 across the country during past 2 days. Britain invites Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend G7 summit to be held in June this year. And in cricket, Brisbane test between India and Australia is evenly poised. The hosts were bundled out for 294 on day 4, leaving the visitors to bat for the entire 5th day on a lively track. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone of Ahmedabad Metro Rail Project Phase 2 and Surat Metro Rail Project this morning through video conferencing. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Modi said 2 economic urban centres of the country, Surat and Ahmedabad, have got the gift of more than 17,000 crore rupees soon after the Uttarayan.
देश के 2 बड़े व्यापारिक केंद्रों अहमदाबाद और सूरत में मेट्रो इन शहरों में कनेक्टिविटी को और मजबूत करने का काम करेगी। आज 17,000 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का काम शुरू हो रहा है। 17,000 करोड़ रुपए ये दिखाता है कि कोरोना के इस काल में भी नए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के निर्माण को लेकर देश के प्रयास लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं.
The Prime Minister said the biggest feature of these metro rail projects is that it is being implemented with the future requirements of the people.
अब आज से अहमदाबाद मेट्रो के दूसरे चरण पर काम शुरू हो रहा है. इसका लाभ शहर के लाखों लोगों को होगा. अहमदाबाद के बाद सूरत गुजरात का दूसरा बड़ा शहर है जो मेट्रो जैसे आधुनिक पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम से जुड़ेगा. सूरत में मेट्रो नेटवर्क तो एक प्रकार से पूरे शहर के महत्वपूर्ण व्यापारिक केंद्रों को आपस में कनेक्ट करेगा. मेट्रो के इन प्रोजेक्ट की सबसे बड़ी खासियत ये है कि ये आने वाले वर्षों की जरूरतों का आकलन करते हुए भी बनाए जा रहे हैं. यानी जो आज इन्वेस्टमेंट हो रहा है उससे हमारे शहरों को आने वाले कई सालों तक बेहतर सुविधाएं मिलेगी.
Mr. Modi said his government is working with an integrated transport approach in implementing the metro rail projects.
एक समय था जब हमारे देश में मेट्रो के निर्माण को लेकर कोई आधुनिक सोच नहीं थी. देश की कोई मेट्रो पॉलिसी भी नहीं थी. नतीजा ये हुआ कि अलग अलग शहरों में अलग अलग तरह की मेट्रो, अलग अलग तकनीक और व्यवस्था वाली मेट्रो बनने लगी. दूसरी दिक्कत ये थी कि शहर के बाकी ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम का मेट्रो के साथ कोई तालमेल ही नहीं था. आज हम शहरों के ट्रांसपोर्टेशन को एक इंटीग्रेटेड सिस्टम के तौर पर विकसित कर रहे हैं. यानी बस, मेट्रो, रेल सब अपने अपने हिसाब से नहीं दौड़े बल्कि एक सामूहिक व्यवस्था के तौर पर काम करें, एक दूसरे को पूरक बने.
The Prime Minister said work on more than 1,000 kilometers of metro network is in progress in the country.
पहले की सरकारों की जो अप्रोच थी, हमारी सरकार कैसे काम कर रही है, इसका बेहतरीन उदाहरण क्या फर्क था, ये बहुत भली भांति देश में मेट्रो नेटवर्क का विस्तार से पता चलता है. 2014 से पहले के 10-12 साल में सिर्फ 250 किलोमीटर मेट्रो लाइन ऑपरेशनल हुई थी. वहीं बीते 6 साल में 450 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा मेट्रो नेटवर्क चालू हो चुका है. इस समय देश के 27 शहरों में 1000 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा के नए मेट्रो नेटवर्क पर काम चल रहा है.
Praising the fast economic development in Surat and Ahmedabad, Prime Minister Modi described these two cities as the powerhouse of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
बीते कुछ दिनों में ही देश भर में हजारों करोड़ रुपए के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट का या तो लोकार्पण किया गया है या फिर नए प्रोजेक्ट्स पर काम शुरू हुआ है. अहमदाबाद और सूरत दोनों गुजरात की और भारत की आत्मनिर्भरता को सशक्त करने वाले शहर हैं. मैं ये भी देख रहा हूं कि अहमदाबाद के सपनों ने यहां की पहचान ने कैसे खुद को मेट्रो से जोड़ लिया है.
Prime Minister Modi said that Surat city is the world's fourth fastest growing city at present.
आज सूरत आबादी के लिहाज से एक तरफ देश का 8वां बड़ा शहर है, लेकिन दुनिया का चौथा सबसे तेजी से विकसित होता शहर भी है. दुनिया के हर 10 हीरो में से 9 सूरत में तरासे जाते हैं. आज देश में कुल मैन मेड फैब्रिक का 40% और मैन मेड फाइबर का करीब 30% प्रोडक्शन हमारे सूरत में होता है. आज सूरत देश का दूसरा सबसे स्वच्छ शहर है. ये सब कुछ एक बेहतर प्लानिंग और संपूर्णता की सोच के साथ संभव हो पाया है.
Describing Surat as the best model of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat, Mr. Modi said that earlier 20% of the population was staying in slums in Surat, but after the availability of affordable housing, it has now come down to only 6%.
शहर को भीड़भाड़ से मुक्त करने के लिए बेहतर ट्रैफिक मैनेजमेंट से लेकर अनेक दूसरे कदम उठाए. आज सूरत में करीब 1 दर्जन सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स हैं. सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट से ही सूरत को आज करीब 100 करोड़ रुपए की आय प्राप्त हो रही है. बीते सालों में सूरत में बेहतरीन आधुनिक अस्पतालों का निर्माण किया गया. इन सभी प्रयासों से सूरत में ईज ऑफ लिविंग बेहतर हुई. आज हम देखते हैं कि सूरत एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का कितना बेहतर उदाहरण है.
Prime Minister Modi said that Ahmedabad, the country's first World Heritage City, has also got a series of development projects like Sabarmati Riverfront, Kakariya Lakefront, BRTS projects, etc. He said urban economic centres like Ahmedabad and Surat will get a boost after they are connected with the country's commercial capital Mumbai through the bullet train project. Mr. Modi said that Gandhinagar was once known as the city of government employees and senior citizens, but today, with a host of premier educational and technology institutes, it is now building the new generation for the country. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Gujarat Governor Acharya Devavrat and Chief Minister Vijay Rupani were also present on the occasion. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Speaking on this occasion, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that today is a historic day for the people of Ahmedabad and Surat. He said that the metro projects in Ahmedabad and Surat will improve the quality and cost-effective public transport system. Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani said that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is always thinking for the welfare of the people of Gujarat. He said that a series of new projects have been inaugurated and started in recent times, including AIIMS in Rajkot, various projects at Statue of Unity, seaplane service, and railway connectivity with Kevadia. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on the 31st of this month. It will be the 73rd episode of the monthly radio program. In a tweet, Mr. Modi urged the people to share inspiring anecdotes for this. The Prime Minister said he will be referring to some of them in the program as well. People can share their views in the Namo app or MyGov Open Forum. They can also dial the toll-free telephone number 1800-117800 and record their messages for the Prime Minister in either Hindi or English. People can also give a missed call on 1922 and follow the link received in SMS to directly give their suggestions to the Prime Minister. The national COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 96.59%, with over 1,211,000 cumulative recoveries so far. The rate of new daily infections has further dipped below the 15,000 mark, with only 13,788 cases being reported in the last 24 hours. During the same period, over 14,400 people have recovered from the viral contagion. Over 5,48,000 COVID samples were tested in the country in the last 24 hours. With this, the cumulative testing figure has reached around 18 crore 70 lakh. The central government and ICMR have scaled up the testing infrastructure in a calibrated manner. India's testing capacity has also touched 15 lakh per day, ensuring easily accessible COVID-19 tests to all the citizens.
The Health Ministry has said a total of 553 sessions of COVID-19 vaccination were conducted in 6 states, in which 17,072 beneficiaries were vaccinated on the second day of the launch of the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination drive. These states are Andhra Pradesh, in which 308 sessions were conducted yesterday, 165 sessions in Tamil Nadu, 64 in Karnataka, 14 in Arunachal Pradesh, and 1 each in Kerala and Manipur. Addressing media in New Delhi, Additional Health Secretary Dr. Manohar Agnani said with this taking both days, a total of 2,24,301 beneficiaries have been vaccinated so far.
A total of 2,24,301 beneficiaries, out of which 2,07,229 of day 1 have been vaccinated till 17th January as per the provisional reports. Highest day 1 vaccination number in the world. मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि ये संख्या किसी भी एक दिन में किसी भी देश में सर्वाधिक है, higher than USA, UK and France on day 1. Most of the AFIs reported so far are minor like fever, headache and nausea. जितने भी AFI अब तक रिपोर्ट हुए हैं वो माइनर हैं, जिसमें मुख्यतः फीवर, हेडेक और नौशिया की शिकायत है. एंड मीटिंग्स हैव हेल्ड विद द स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज फॉर रिव्यू ऑफ प्रोग्रेस, आइडेंटिफाइंग बॉटलनेक्स एंड प्लान करेक्टिव एक्शन.
In West Bengal, COVID-19 vaccination drive is being carried out 4 days a week from today. The state has faced technical glitches regarding Co-Win app, quoting official sources. State Health Department, our Kolkata correspondent, reports that all relevant data are kept ready manually so far to be uploaded later on.
After achieving more than 75% of the target on the inaugural day of immunization in the state, the vaccination drive is scheduled to be held at 207 centers from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Friday and Saturdays. 100% vaccination was achieved in 4 districts including Kolkata. All the enlisted persons have been asked to get the jab as per schedule. Madhuparna Chaudhary for EIR News, Kolkata.
In Assam, COVID-19 vaccination is being administered at 29 districts in the state today. Sources in the Health Department said a total of 3,528 health workers got COVID-19 vaccine on the first day. In 31 districts, Covishield was administered, while in 2 districts, Covaxin was used for health workers. There was no report of adverse effects after vaccination. Today, on the second day of the vaccination, nearly 4,500 health workers are likely to be covered. In Tripura, COVID-19 cases are gradually declining. The total caseload of active patients has now dropped to 38, and in the past 24 hours, only 2 new positive cases were recorded. The recovery rate has also improved to 98.71%. With this, the total cases have reached 33,331, out of which 32,879 patients have recovered so far.
In Jharkhand, the second day of COVID vaccination drive is underway at all 49 centers spread across 24 districts of the state. Vaccination will be conducted on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday, that is 4 days of the week as demarcated, and around 72,000 health workers will be vaccinated in the first phase, while 3,200 people received the vaccination on January 16. State Immunization Officer Dr. Ajit Prasad informed AIR that all the health workers who have taken the vaccine are healthy and the health is being monitored continuously. In Madhya Pradesh, over 2,41,000 patients have recovered from COVID infection so far, while 355 new positive cases were reported yesterday. The COVID positivity rate of the other state is 1.4%. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
In Madhya Pradesh, 478 patients recovered yesterday, with 2 patients succumbing to the infection. The death toll rose to 3,753. 9 districts recorded no positive cases. The 2 major cities, Bhopal and Indore, consistently reporting below 100 COVID cases. Indore reported 43 corona positive cases, while Bhopal reported 83 corona positive cases. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
The chairman of Narayana Health City and well-known cardiac surgeon, Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty, has said that half the battle against COVID pandemic will be won if half of the population in India is vaccinated. He was speaking after receiving the vaccine in Bengaluru today. He asked all those receiving the vaccine to show a V sign to denote victory over the virus. He pointed out that we do not have enough doctors, nurses, hospitals, but still have managed to contain the spread of the virus in comparison to other countries where the second wave is detected. He said that if nurses involved in the vaccination drive work 4 hours extra every day, then the drive can be completed in 2 months. Advising caution, Dr. Devi Shetty said that only after the second dosage of the vaccine, a person is protected from COVID infection.
In Andhra Pradesh, 332 locations have been identified for the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination, and these numbers will be increased gradually to cover all the health facilities in the state. The state has received 4.7 lakh doses of Covishield vaccine developed by the Serum Institute of India and 20,000 doses of Covaxin developed by Bharat Biotech. Telangana state has reported 206 fresh COVID cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the number of COVID cases in the state reached over 291,000. The recovery rate has improved to 98.07%, with 346 more people recovering yesterday. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to over 286,000. A total of 1,579 deaths have been reported so far, following 2 more succumbing during the past 24 hours.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays foundation stone of environment-friendly Ahmedabad Metro Rail Project Phase 2 and Surat Metro Rail Project via video conferencing. The new metro projects will further connectivity to Ahmedabad and Surat, asserts Prime Minister. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 96.59%, even as daily infection dips below the 15,000 mark. Over 2 lakh people vaccinated for COVID-19 across the country during the past 2 days. Britain invites Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the G7 summit to be held in June this year. And in cricket, Brisbane Test between India and Australia is evenly poised. The hosts were bundled out for 294 on day 4, leaving visitors to bat for the entire 5th day on a lively track. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari has said the target of constructing 40-kilometer roads per day will be achieved by the end of March this year. He informed that the government has already achieved the target of constructing 30 kilometers road per day. Addressing the media in New Delhi on the inauguration of National Road Safety Month, Mr. Gadkari said every day 415 people die in the country due to road accidents. He said the government is committed to reduce road accidents in the country by improving the road engineering and compliance measures. He added that 14,000 crore rupees will be spent on identifying and repairing black spots on the roads. He urged the stakeholders to cooperate in improving the road safety mechanism, saying that compromise cannot be made with the life of people. Schools in Delhi reopened from today only for the students of class 10th and 12th All schools in the national capital were physically shut since March last year in order to avoid the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the first time in 10 months that students have returned to their campuses. In Rajasthan, schools, colleges and coaching institutions have opened today after a gap of 10 months. Classes have begun for 9th to 12th standard in schools, while classes have started for final year students in colleges. More from our Jaipur correspondent.
About 30,000 private and government schools from class 9 to 12 have opened their doors for students today. About 2,000 colleges have also started today in the state. Home Department has issued detailed guidelines for education institutions. As per the guidelines, 50% students of the total strength of the class would be called one day, while the rest of the students will attend the class next day. Classes for 1st to 8th standard still not started, and online classes will continue for these students. Administrative officials will keep an eye for effective implementation of COVID guidelines in educational institutions. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Tamil Nadu, schools will reopen for the 10th and 12th standard students from tomorrow. Students will be allowed to attend classes after obtaining approval from parents. The state government has also reduced the syllabus accordingly. More from our Chennai correspondent.
The school education department has taken utmost precautions in reopening schools. Classrooms and campuses have been sanitized accordingly. Hand sanitizers and monitoring of body temperature through thermal scanners have been made mandatory for students and teachers. State Health Department will also have a student screening every week in the school's campuses. Since board exams are just a few months away, 40% of school syllabus have been reduced. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
The full Election Commission, headed by Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora, will arrive in Guwahati today on a 3-day visit to Assam to review the poll preparations in the state. Chief Electoral Officer of Assam said that the team will hold meetings with officials and representatives of various political parties to decide the dates for the assembly polls. They will also meet the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police. Assembly polls in Assam will be held this year. United Kingdom has invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the G7 summit as a guest. The G7 summit is to be held in June this year. A statement by the British High Commission said UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is also likely to visit India ahead of the G7 summit. Mr. Johnson's earlier visit to India was called off by him due to the coronavirus situation in UK. The G7, made up of the UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the US and the EU, is the only forum where the world's most influential and open societies and advanced economies are brought together for close-knit discussions. Prime Minister Johnson will use the first in-person G7 summit in almost 2 years to ask leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to seize the opportunity to build back better from the coronavirus, uniting to make the future fairer, greener and more prosperous. Terming India as the pharmacy of the world, the UK lauded the efforts regarding the production of the coronavirus vaccine.
In cricket, India were 4 for no loss at stumps on day 4 against Australia in their second innings in the 4th and final test at Brisbane. Earlier, Australia were all out for 294, setting a target of 328 runs for India to win. Stephen Smith top scored for Australia with 55 runs, while Mohammad Siraj took 5 wickets for India.
Edged and taken. This time a healthy edge for Mohammad Siraj, brought back into the attack. Yes, boys.
The 4-match series is currently tied at 1-1, with Australia winning the first match in Adelaide, while India registered a win in the second in Melbourne. The third test in Sydney had ended in a draw. Renowned Bangladeshi filmmaker Tanveer Mukammal has said that it was a befitting tribute to have Bangladesh as the country of focus in Goa International Film Festival of India, IFFI, on its 50th anniversary of liberation. 4 films from Bangladesh, including Jibon Dhuli, directed by Tanveer Mukammal, are being shown at the IFFI this year under the Country of Focus section. The Country of Focus is a special segment that recognizes the cinematic excellence and contributions of the country. As a part of the opening ceremony of the section, Roopsano Dirbake was screened yesterday. Speaking about his film, Roopsano Dirbake, director Tanveer Mokammil said the protagonist of the film was like a Greek tragic hero who ran against time. Talking about the historical background, Tanveer Mokammil said East Bengal was never a poor country, but the British and later Pakistan made it poor. He recounted that Satyajit Ray and Ritwik Ghatak were two of the great inspirations for his filmmaking. Meanwhile, our Panaji correspondent reports that the screenings of IFFI receive overwhelming response.
The Indian premiere of the movie Window Boy Would Also Like to Have a Submarine was held yesterday. It was received with the warm welcome by the film lovers. Director, producer and screenplay writer of the movie Alex Piperno from Uruguay, while addressing the press in the Panji, explained the genesis and idea behind his movie. The plot is based on the cruise ship of Patagonian coast and the two stories are woven in it with the artistry of the fantasy and imagination. Answering a question, he said that the movies of the Uruguay have its own identity of a culture. Besides that, masterclass on acting for the writers and directors by filmmaker Perry Lang and in conversation with the Rahul Ravel were conducted. With Mukesh Thali, Tushar Jadhav for AIR News from Panji, Goa.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Piyush Ranjan, Assistant Professor in the Medicine Department of AIIMS, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. Repeat, 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444. Repeat, 011-2331-4444, and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for the day. In the national capital, shallow fog is forecast. The minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 17 degrees. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 20 degrees. Maximum will be 30. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 30 degrees. Kolkata witnessed fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later. The minimum temperature was 13 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 23 degrees. Srinagar also witnessed fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later. The minimum temperature was -6 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 8 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius while maximum will be 17 degrees. The city witnessed fog in the morning and will have a mainly clear sky later. Leh will have partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was -12 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 0.6 degrees. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was -6 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 11 degrees. Muzaffarabad will also have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 4 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 20 degrees. Dehradun witnessed fog in the morning and will have a mainly clear sky later. The minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 21 degrees. Chandigarh will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 19 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 30. Sky will be partly cloudy. Ahmedabad will witness clear sky. Minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius while maximum will be 31 degrees. In Patna, dense fog with cold day conditions are expected. The minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius while maximum will be 18 degrees. And in Guwahati, the minimum temperature was 13 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 22 degrees. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays foundation stone of environment-friendly Ahmedabad Metro Rail Project Phase 2 and Surat Metro Rail Project via video conferencing. The new metro projects will further connectivity to Ahmedabad and Surat, asserts Prime Minister. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 96.59% even as daily infection dips below 15,000. Over 2 lakh people vaccinated for COVID-19 across the country during past 2 days. Britain invites Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend G7 summit to be held in June this year. And in cricket, Brisbane test again between India and Australia is evenly poised. The hosts were bundled out for 294 on day 4, leaving the visitors to bat for the entire 5th day on a lively track. And with that, we end the midday news.